There is something in us, something very primal in us, something very basic in us that likes to get behind the biggest, meanest, toughest badass in the room. Who's like this big and this tough and just doesn't give a crap. Solves all his problems with, I'm gonna kick you in the nuts. You're like, yeah, get him. And there's nothing wrong with that. There really isn't. I mean, on a Friday night, I want to check my brain at the door, get a six-pack and some popcorn, and go, Conan the Barbarian, kill them! Kill them all! Chop their heads off! Bite their faces into salad, I don't know. Arr, arr, arr. Bite their faces into salad. Anyway, you know what I mean. There's something very basic about getting behind that guy whose only quirk and hobby is training. Oh, it bores me to tears. I have to train. I must train for the fight, which is my destiny. My destiny is fighting, and fighting is my destiny, so I must be ready to train. So what do you do when you're not training? Well, I train for the fight. Do you read anything? Training manuals. What about you? Dungeons and Dragons books. Exactly. I like those guys, but they're not my heroes. I'm never gonna be that big. I don't know if you've noticed. If I flex, I do that Bugs Bunny thing. Those aren't my heroes. I like them Friday night with a beer and some popcorn. Yeah, kill everyone. I don't care. But it's easy. It's very easy to write that wall-breaking punch, or that earth-shattering kick, or that mountain-shattering, earthscape-changing fireball. It's fun to write that, but it's very easy. If you want to go for the unique hero, I would have to recommend the intellectual victory. Now, it is very easy for me to stand up here and just say, write smart! It's very hard to do. It is very, very hard to do, and you have to know what you're going for from page 1. And even then, you're going to have to revise your stuff like 6 or 7 times. Work is going to be involved in this, because it's not as easy as just, yeah! The best intellectual victory I have ever seen in my life was from Isaac Asimov's The Foundation trilogy. Woo! I don't know how many of you have read that. I recommend it. It's a thick trilogy, but good. Anyway, it's a huge story. I can't go over all of it. It's a whole other panel, but I'm going to paraphrase and summarize. Thank you very much. So the Foundation is this intergalactic, this like super advanced galactic society. Very, very cool stuff. Very science fiction-y. But it gets taken over by this super psychic who calls himself the Mule. Why is he called the Mule? Another story. But anyway, that's his name. And he's a psychic powerhouse, and no one could have seen this coming. Like, people who get near him are compelled to love and join him. You're like, oh, yeah, I totally get what you're doing. Yeah, fuck those guys. Foundation, they're killed. And so he takes over the civilization like this, just mentally dominating everyone who gets close to him, and no one can stop him until he finally becomes this intergalactic super psychic powerhouse, ruling the Foundation with an iron fist and searching for something in the galaxy that will make his power greater. That's for the Mule. Now, in popcorn science fiction, how would you take down the Mule? Well, you get a maverick hotshot pilot hopping into a prototype jet that like looks really sleek and cool, and it's flying through the enemy fleets and dodging stuff, and there's some rebel commander going, Maverick, don't push the blade too hard, it can't take the heat. And like, I'm going for it, man, screw you. And he hits the thing, and it does this, and there's missiles flying everywhere, and then there's an explosion, but it turned into a robot with wings and a sword and a shield and some hair, and then slicing through bad guys, and boom, boom, and then he sees the Mule and drives the galactic sword through him, and then shoots a photon torpedo down a hole about that big, and ring explosion. Ah! Cool, huh? Or you get a never-do-well bunch of space bounty hunters and mercenaries who don't care about your rebellion. And they have like space shotguns and space trench coats, and they do the things the heroes aren't allowed to do. And they're killing guards and people, and they kick down the door of the Mule's front door, and they go, think about this, Mule. Fuck yeah, now where's my paycheck? learned that Isaac Asimov was. Isaac Asimov was a doctor. Specifically, he was a psychologist. So instead of sending in a maverick hotshot pilot in a prototype jet, starfighter, or a never-do-well bunch of mercenaries and bounty hunters, he sends in a shrink. Ooh, yeah. Very exciting. And it's not even exciting how he got to see the mule. I am the king of everything and the ruler of the Foundation. What's next on my agenda? Well, sir, the psychologist is here to see you. And how did he get in? Well, he made an appointment, sir. Very good. Send him in. And the psychologist, he's not like a dashing, like, I'm a psychologist. No, he's just a dude. I think he's like balding. He's wearing a brown suit. And he's got big glasses. I know, very exciting, very sexy. But Isaac Asimov wasn't concerned with that crap. He walks up to the mule and goes, hello, mule. Nice to see you. You made an appointment. Very good, doctor. What do you want? Well, I'm here to talk to you, the mule. Very good, doctor. Let's talk. And I'm reading the talking. And I'm reading more talking. And I'm reading more talking. It's like 10 pages I'm reading talking to each other. And I'm waiting for like the blaster to come out from under the table, or the big prototype jet to just show up behind the mule with a gun loaded, or a robot with a big sword. I'm waiting for something. Talking. 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 Oh, shit! Whoa! At that 10th page, it hits me, as well as it hits the mule, that this psychologist has been leading the mule on a perfect circle of logic to convince him that it is in his best interest, the mule's best interest, to use his powers back onto himself, thus rendering him powerless and thus defeated. This was like 15 years ago I read this. I still remember how I reacted. I went back to those 10 pages when the conversation started. I was like, oh, yeah, that's when it started. I missed that the first time. Oh, cool. And there's a second bit. And there, yeah, that does make sense. That's weird. Oh, cool. And the thing. And then, yes, it's, oh. I had a nerdgasm. It was so cool. They didn't beat him with guns. They beat him with words and sentences. I like to talk. And that's it. Isaac Asimov didn't write, blasters and space shuttle battles and, popcorn explosions and whatever. He wrote psychology. It was the coolest thing I've ever read. 15 years later, I'm still losing my voice getting this excited over the effect that it had on me. It's very hard to do. And it doesn't have to be psychology. It can be anything you really know, even if it's whatever uncool thing you really love. You can make it really, really effective if you know it and you do your work. A more contemporary example of this, I don't know how many of you have played Fallout 3. Woo! Alright, real fast. For those of you who have your science skill really high, I'm not going to tell you who to do it, but you can do that to someone in the game. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I just couldn't sleep. My fiance was in the next room. She was sleeping because she has a real job and needs to get up in the morning. And I'm playing, and I'm, get to this guy. I'm like, all right, you get your dialogue choices, and then I saw it, like science skill choice. No. Click. There it is, and there it is, and there it is. Oh my God! Oh my God! I'm doing it! I'm doing it! I swear to God. True story. My fiance comes wandering in from the next room going, what the fuck are you yelling about? I did the thing for the Foundation trilogy! I'm so smart! That's the level of effect something like this can have on someone, or at least me. I think you guys are into this stuff as I am, so fuck yeah, go for it! Don't write cool! Don't write training, punch, kick, nuts, psychology. Oh!